everyone! So before I jump into the story, I just wanted to say two things. The first one is that this is the first time that I'm trying video as a storytelling format. It's actually something that I've been thinking about because in order to tell these more personal stories about things that I've experienced, I actually think that video is easier, and that's why I started this one now, because the stories are just too long to tell in writing and I don't think it works. So if you like it, let me know what you think. If you want to see more, also please let me know. I'm definitely considering doing a series where I just tell a couple of things that have happened to me, especially related to mental health, that it would be too long to write. The second thing I want to say, and this is really important about this story, is that it's not about blaming anyone. It's really not about shaming people, the people that I worked with, to whom this story is relevant. It's not about that at all. It's really just about being able to tell this story, and you'll see that, of course, I talk about the agency that I used to work in, and you can guess quite easily which one that was, but I'm really not giving any names. I'm not being specific about country or even about gender. So please just bear that in mind. Don't take it as some sort of personal vendetta. That's not at all it. Please just see this as a story that I'm telling. So now I'm going to jump into the story. So basically, I had been tasked with a very important project at the agency when I was still working there, and I was really keen to take it on because I knew that it was a big thing, and I wanted to prove that I was able to do it, so I was quite excited. And I had been tasked with working with some colleagues from another office, which is quite common because it was an international agency, so it was not uncommon for us to work with other offices, different areas of expertise and stuff like that. And these people were meant to be helping me with research and just giving their advice based on experience and getting the project over the finish line. And after about a month, I had been working on this project practically by myself. I'd had very little, if not no, input from these people that I was supposed to be working with. And so, at this point, I turned to my colleagues within my office and to my superiors, and I was looking for that support. Like my question to them was, can you kind of help me by telling these people that, they're really not doing their job. This was not part of the agreement. Like, I need you to really back me up here and help me out. Bearing in mind that I've really had done everything that I could by myself. I had reached out to many different people. I had tried to get advice. So it wasn't like, after one day I'd given up and was like, these people aren't helping me. I had really done, in my opinion, everything that I could. And so I turned to them and I was like, listen, please tell these people this is not okay. They're not holding up their end of the bargain. And of course, you would expect that being in one office in a particular region, like you all band together. I guess in an international company, even let's say if you're in a headquarters, I guess you feel an affinity per team or per department, and then you'll feel an affinity per country and etc. So not that there's a fight or something going on, but your loyalty comes to those who are with you first and foremost. So in my mind, it was clear, there was no doubt that our loyalty was between each other as people from this specific office. And it seemed very obvious to me that the people I was asking for help, so the senior people in the office, would stand up for me and for our office, more importantly, and help the other people, our colleagues, understand that their behavior was not okay. Instead, what happened was that one of the people that I had turned to for support, in the more senior members of our team in our office, actually sent an email the day before I was meant to give an important presentation about this project to one of our colleagues from the other office, openly criticizing my work and saying that the presentation that I had made wasn't good enough, and just basically not being very positive about the whole situation. And even though, I knew it wasn't about me as a person, and I've written a blog before about taking things personally. I knew it wasn't about me as a person, but at that point, I had worked so hard by myself on this project that it was really difficult to not take this criticism of the output personally, because I was like, well, basically I'm the only person who's worked on it, so you can only really be criticizing my work. So that first point was pretty upsetting, because I really invested a lot of time and you're criticizing my work. But the second point, and this is where the story about trust comes in, which was in my eyes like much worse, was that this person from my office, who, like I said, you would expect that you have loyalty between people of the same office, was actually at that point in time almost against me, if you could say it like that, because they were criticizing my work to two people from another office who incidentally had not helped me at all, but were external to our group, let's say. And for me, that was like the ultimate betrayal of trust. I was so upset. I can't even explain. I mean, of course I was upset, and I had spent a lot of time on the project. The next day I had to present it. So of course that in itself was challenging. I felt like my work was good, and I was kind of upset about the criticism, but the fact that that person had not defended me like I had asked for, and instead what it felt like to me was that they had thrown me under the bus in front of these other people, was really upsetting. To make matters worse, this email conversation continued. I was still in the loop of the conversation, which again is just, I think, quite insensitive, but never mind, that's not really the point. The point is the conversation continued. This person from my office continued to maintain that the presentation wasn't good enough, which of course, after hearing it for the third or fourth time, you're still not feeling the most confident before you go to present something. And then the conversation continued again in person the following day, when all of us had regrouped to go and present this project externally. So yeah, I think after that I just felt extremely betrayed. That was the only way that I can describe what I felt. I felt so let down. I was really upset. I could not understand how somebody from my team had been able to do that to me. And what's worse, that person, I felt, had known me for the past 6 years, so the past however many years I'd spent working at that company. So it's not like I was new and we didn't know each other. We had worked before on projects together. And in my mind, that person had to know, like, how good I was at my job. There was no doubt about it. I was like, this person knows that I'm dedicated. This person knows how hard I work. This person knows that I put in the time and the effort. And this person also knows that, as I explained in the beginning, I'm not someone to come and complain when I just can't figure something out by myself. Like, I really try and exhaust all the options. And so for me, that was where the betrayal lied. I was like, I can't believe that this person has gone as far as not only criticizing me openly in front of others, but also not standing up for me and for our office and for the work that I did to represent our office. And I just felt so let down, so upset. I had invested so much in the project. I really felt like I'd given it my all. I'd worked late hours. In general, I had worked really hard. And I think for me, the biggest betrayal of trust and the biggest problem, as it were, the biggest outcome of this story was that I had spent previously, 4, 5, 6, however many years working at that agency, where I had literally given blood, sweat, and tears. And in the stories that I will tell consequently about my mental health issues, like, you will find out that really I'd given a lot. I had worked myself to death. I had worked long hours, I had worked weekends, I had, compromised my relationship, I had compromised my mental health, I had burnt out, I had really thrown myself all in time and time again to this company. And of course, regularly throughout the years, I had always felt like I was never getting anything for it in return, which in and of itself was upsetting. But at this point in time, after so many years of having done that, And this person being a witness to all of that and knowing, like I said, like how much I had invested and still not standing up for me, I was just destroyed. I was broken. And really, you know, for me, the feeling was, what more do I have to do? Like, I remember crying and like being really upset and just thinking, what more? What else is it going to take? What do I have to do to get this, not just this person really, because the person is just representative of the company, you know? I was like, what more do I have to do to have this company stand behind me and feel so that I feel supported? Am I going to have to cut off an arm? You know, what does it take? And I was so upset because I had already given so much. And I was like, if anything, you know, not that you should have to sacrifice for someone to stand up for you, but I was like, if anything, all of these sacrifices should be enough proof that you should be standing behind me and supporting me. And so it was just really upsetting. And that was, I think, the biggest sense of betrayal that I ever felt, that after having given so much, I was still getting nothing in return. And that was really, really sad. And yeah, so that's my story on trust and betrayal and feeling let down. I think that I felt angry. I honestly no longer wanted to go to work. I didn't want to see that person. I didn't want to be in that office. I just felt like there was no longer any trust, and this is the whole point of the story. So that was it. Yeah, I'm gonna write a conclusion to this now, but that was in essence the story.